The number one hack in order for you to be more productive is to take care of your sleep. So here's my system that's helped me and many of my clients to get enough sleep. Welcome to Peaceful Productivity Techniques, where I help business owners put 3 hours back in their calendars and double their team's productivity so they can be the super dad their kids will always remember. I have just one ask of you. Please share this show so that other business owners can reclaim their time while growing their business. I talk about productivity all the time on this channel. This time I decided to zoom in on maybe the most important hack that you can apply in your life in order to be more productive. I don't think it's going to be a long video, and I'm not going to make you wait for it a long time. The number one hack in order for you to be more productive is to take care of your sleep. How? I have a ton of productivity technique, and most of them are peaceful. Hence the name of this show, Peaceful Productivity Technique. Yeah! Whenever I found with one of my clients that this key thing is missing, this is where we start with. Why? Sleep helps you store information in your brain, organize everything that you've learned, manage your stress level. It's super important for everything in your life. So what I say usually is that if you don't have sleep under control, then you're playing the entrepreneurship game in hard mode. Maybe some of you remember this game Diablo 2 on PlayStation and PC, and you had like easy, normal, hard mode. So when you don't take care of your sleep, you're playing in nightmare mode, and then everything can be more complicated. You can make huge mistakes that will cost you your business just because you didn't sleep. So let's get into what you can do in order to improve that. Because let's face it, you probably know that you should sleep at least 7 to 8 hours, right? You probably heard that somewhere before. It's not like the most incredible news. But what you might not know is how to do that consistently. So here's my system, here's my hack that's helped me and that's helped many of my clients to get enough sleep. And surprisingly, it doesn't start with how soon you wake up in the morning. I focus first on your end of the day routine. Why? Because the end of the day is a critical moment where you're tired, so you have very limited energy left. You start your day with a certain amount of willpower and energy. And through the day, you make decisions that are slowly eating this stock of energy. And at the end of the day, you've eaten all your energy and willpower decisions. So you have no more willpower and you can't make good decisions. It's a very critical time of the day where you're prone to do a lot of bad things. That is why people go to the bar, they drink too much, they party too much, they drive while under the influence, they cheat on their wife, they do all these kind of things that are not helpful. Not because they are bad people, but because it's the end of the day and their brain is just not functioning normally. So having a good evening routine, in my opinion, is so much important than having a morning routine. Here's how I handle it myself. At 9:30, I stop working. I stop doing mentally stimulating activities. So I stop learning, I stop writing emails, I stop communicating on chat or things like that. And I try to have all my calls with the US or other time zones finished at most at 9:30. Then from 9:30 till 10:30, I can do whatever I want as long as it's not stimulating me. So again, I'm not going to YouTube, not going to check Alex Hormoz's YouTube or Graham Cochrane podcast or reading some self-development books at this time because I want my brain to wind down. And I have a full hours to do that from 9:30 till 10:30. So typically what I do is I would consume some media, or I would spend some time with my wife, and my kids are asleep by this point. Or I would just chill and read or listen to a podcast which is non-stimulating. Like lately, most of the time I spend it watching some TV shows or some movies. I like it because it relaxes me a lot. The brain is constantly daydreaming, and when we are pulled into a story, then we stop the daydreaming for a moment and we get inspired into the daydreaming of that story, which is very relaxing. And also, it helps me for the next phase of the plan, because come 10:30, I stop every screen and I go into audio only mode. So if my wife is still awake, we talk. If not, I might put on a podcast. And I like to have a podcast which speaks about the show that I've just watched because it's non-stimulating, it's relaxing, and studies shows that it gives you the same kind of hormones or chemicals in your brain that you would experience if you were to hang out with a bunch of friends. I don't want to have a bunch of friends that I hang out with just from 10:30 till 11 when I'm in bed. So podcast is a great alternative for that. This show is sponsored by me, Peaceful Productivity, your peaceful productivity coach. And also stay hydrated. Peacefulproductivity.coach. Yeah. Come 10:30, it's time to audio only. So I put on a podcast, sometime about the show that I've just watched, or I listen to some true crime or to some history stuff. It doesn't matter as long as it's not stimulating. And I fall asleep while listening to this podcast. So I would go to bed and listen to this and until I fall asleep. I put the sleep timer so it doesn't play all night long. And finally I fall asleep. Then the next morning when I wake up, I have two kind of scenarios. Either it's a Monday or a day where I use the 1 month's day as I described in this previous video. And in that case, I just wake up and I go to the computer and I start working immediately as I'm waking up. Or most days, I just wake up and I cuddle with my wife and kids. We have breakfast together, we have a little chat, and we spend some time, and I start working just after they leave. I talked about it in the 1 month's day video, so be sure to check it out, but there's a lot of value to just jump and start working immediately as you wake up. But all of that depends on how you went to bed the day before. So you don't need to follow the exact same hours as me, but I'll just repeat them to give you like some form of structure. End of work. After 9:30, there's no more excitement, there's no more mental stimulation. From 9:30 till 10:30, I like to watch TV shows or talk with my wife and chill. From 10:30 until I fall asleep, I just listen to some podcast. As I'm listening to podcasts, one thing I like to do is also take care of chores, cleaning the kitchen, washing the dishes, things like that, because I hate those chores. So I don't want to give them my prime time of productivity in the morning where my decision making and willpower is full. I want to do it as a robot when I don't think anymore. It's just taking stuff from one place, putting it in another one, I also like to do some transcription when transcription is needed. Let's say that I took some notes and I like to transcribe them. If you're a business owner and you want to reclaim some of your time, double your team productivity and increase your profit this year so that you can be the super dad your kids will always remember, there are some links below that are here to help you, either through the form of coaching or CEO Time Freedom Program, or just some other resources and tools that you can use. So have a look. And again, thanks for listening. The number one hack for being more productive tomorrow is actually to go to bed in a choreographed fashion tonight. But here's the kicker. You need to do this at least a full week in a row. And I didn't say 5 days. I didn't say work week. I said a whole week. That's what your brain needs and your circadian rhythm needs in order to recalibrate so that it's easier for you to go to bed, to wake up, and to feel the energy. And there are some more advantages that I might make a video about if you're interested. So be sure to let me know in the comments below or in a review if you want that. Thank you for listening. And as usual, peace and good night.